We're back and we've been talking about obesity and the measures that need to be taken to reverse it. We know that exercise is very effective when it comes to losing weight, but what happens when exercise simply isn't an option? Our next guest has been practicing traditional Chinese acupuncture for over 20 years, and she's here to tell us how acupuncture can be used for weight loss. Let's welcome Dr. Susan Burke. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. So tell us about, I know we're talking about weight loss, but what about acupuncture? Maybe tell us what acupuncture is for audience here and at home.
Acupuncture is using very fine hair-like needles in points all over the body to regulate the flow of qi, or the energy that we say moves up and down the body. The Chinese call it qi, the Japanese call it ki, the Indians call it prana. But it's an energy that moves up and down the body all day long, and wherever there's a problem, there's a lack or stuck qi. So by putting a fine little needle in that area, we're forcing the energy to open up. For most people, they do not feel the needles. They are hair-like needles. They don't bleed unless a person is a diabetic.
Yeah.
And the euphoria that they experience is wonderful.
And I've had it, and I've watched it going. You can hardly feel it, and practitioners have done it for a long time. It's really painless. So that's the first obstacle. But people are saying, well, listen, this is not about any pain. This is about obesity. So what gives? How can we help with weight loss? Is it because of the euphoria?
No, it's because we look at the individual rather than weight loss. So there can be many reasons that people have weight conditions. One person may have parasites. One person may have yeast or excessive candida. One person may have what we call stomach fire in Chinese medicine, where it's an unending appetite. No matter how much they eat, they want more, more, more. I've
got that stomach fire.
Yeah, okay.
I do.
Well, we can cool that out for you.
She's got some needles that'll help you. But go ahead.
And some people barely eat food and they just don't metabolize it. It just sits there. Some people have a normal figure and then all of a sudden they balloon out in their hips. We call that a damp condition, and that's through choices of food. And some people eat emotionally. So we have to address the individual. We don't say, oh, weight loss, give them this. We say, let's look at the individual and why are they having a problem and address that for them. But the euphoria comes with the acupuncture.
Got it. And so the acupuncture is actually treating the entire person.
That's right.
It's very similar to what Renard said and what Reina said, is that you have to treat the individual and then everything comes. So how does releasing or taking or making the qi flow up and down in a regulated way, how does that help to achieve that individual to get to the place where they need to be for weight loss or better health?
Well, there are points that metabolize fat that I can use. There are points that I can use to totally pull someone's appetite down to nothing, where they'll come back a week later and go, Dr. Burke, do that again. That worked for me. There are other points that maybe I just need to get the spleen working a little better, which we say is the main organ of digestion. So it's very individual. For many, they carry too much dampness in the body, which is in the hip area, and dampness is through choices of food. Because we say in Chinese medicine, eat the breakfast of a prince, the lunch of a king, the dinner of a pauper.
Very interesting.
Because we were talking about the qi flow, and we say you have more qi in your stomach from 7 to 9 in the morning more than any time of day. We say that is a main time to eat a main meal because all the qi for your whole body is here. So that's why we want you to eat a hearty breakfast. 7 to 9 at night is the worst time that you can eat because you have the least qi in your stomach to break down and digest food. So we want you to eat earlier, and that evening meal should have no raw food. Raw food is the most perfect form of food. It's had no vitamins killed, but also takes a long time to digest. So you want to have that earlier in the day so your body can do that.
And they can feel full maybe, so you're not
That's
having
right.
an appetite. Now let me ask you this. So if somebody's picking the wrong type of foods, how does acupuncture help them to then find the right choices?
We have to talk about changing the diet, or we can't do it with the needles alone.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But sugar is the biggest culprit right now to obesity of anything that I have seen. If somebody doesn't cut sugar out, they will not get there. And the biggest link is sugar water. And I know you've heard that from other guests. Pop, juice. People think juice is good because it's fresh. But how often would we have 10 oranges with no fiber?
Never,
It's
yeah.
sugar.
Yeah,
if you
pure
look on
sugar.
Morton salt, it's cut with dextrose for free flowingness.
Yeah.
Everything has sugar in it. So it's really up to us to cut it out of our diet. You will feel better and better and better.
Well
It's
said.
not a treat.
Well said. And so when you have your patient, that's wonderful. It's what she's talking about is, everything's, well, she's an acupuncturist, so it's everything must be in the needle, but you actually are talking to them besides the acupuncture and saying, listen, we can't do it alone. We have to also use sound advice and dietary advice to help with this.
That's right. And I have supplements that help too.
Perfect. We have to take a break. We come back, we'll have a patient that Dr. Burke has treated, and we'll see how these treatments have actually worked. Please stay with us.
I'm going to put a stomach point in to reduce his appetite, and it will significantly reduce his appetite.
Back when we left you, Dr. Burke was talking about acupuncture and all of the benefits, even for folks with weight loss and obesity. But when you're beginning an exercise program, this can be very, very difficult, oftentimes very painful. Now, due to previous injury, our next guest just could not bear the pain when attempting to work out and chose acupuncture to help him lose weight. How well is it working for him? Let's meet him. Please welcome Chris. Chris, thanks for doing this. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Give it up for, you got to do better than that for Chris. Look at that. So Chris, tell us, how long have you been overweight, and what have you tried to do to help with that?
I've been overweight since I was 300 pounds in high school, and I gained and lost hundreds of pounds, and this last time I got up to 380, and I just couldn't do anything. It was hard to play golf. The leg just doesn't work right.
Okay.
So if you play golf, you transfer your weight from your left leg, or from your right leg to your left leg. If you're a righty, my left leg won't take it.
So really affecting your life.
Right.
So any of you guys here are afraid of those needles that she's going to put in? See, some honest people. Yeah, before I had a needle put in, I was a little scared, saying, listen, it's going to hurt, and you feel apprehensive. So the first time you did it, were you afraid of that as well?
No, I hurt so bad I had to have some relief.
Yeah, so he actually had so much pain that this would be a small prick in comparison. So what happened when you remember your first treatment? What happened?
I crawled in and walked out, like I could always do with her.
Crawled in and walked out. Excellent. So let's take a look and see what you actually do, and maybe go through it with the audience and figure out why you're doing what you're doing.
I'm going to put a liver point in for Chris that will take away his irritability and let him stay on a program a little bit easier, because it'll make him feel happier and more peaceful. I'm going to put a spleen point in to get his digestion going. I'm going to put a stomach point in to reduce his appetite, and it will significantly reduce his appetite. I'm going to put a point in to transform fat in the body, and this is very important for weight loss. And then, because Chris is an athlete and he has a hard time moving around right now, addressing his knees are very important. If I just do weight loss alone, it's not going to help him. So I must address his knees. So we're going to treat his knees as well.
Treat the person, not the condition, correct?
That's right. Thank you.
Along with making his knees feel better, you're going to decrease his
That's
appetite.
right.
Got it.
That's right.
Because helping the knee only helps the pain, but decreasing his appetite and increasing his euphoria will solve the problems that cause the knees to become even worse, which is his weight.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
And really, with weight loss, it's about learning to love yourself more. It doesn't matter what color body we come in, what size body, how intelligent, how beautiful we are. We have to learn to love ourselves through the limitations we come in with, because we're all light.
Nobody's
and we want to
perfect.
be light. We
That's
want to own our
exactly
light.
right. Well said.
And the
Well said,
heaviness makes the light heavy.
Exactly. Now, people are asking, so how often do you get this done, Chris? Is it you?
I usually go in twice a month unless I overdo it a bit.
Okay, and then
I go in the next day. I just
Okay.
call her, she'll take me.
So twice a month he's doing it. So not very. I mean, some people go to their doctor more often than that. Is it dangerous? Are there any side effects, or should you not be doing it too often?
The contraindications would be someone who has just had alcohol, somebody who hasn't eaten, If someone is pregnant, there are certain points not to work on, although we work on pregnancy the whole 9 months.
So really not. It's very safe.
Oh, yeah, for most people.
Yeah, and so when it's done, you said tomorrow you'll feel better, right? Or if you walk out, you feel better.
Right.
So it's immediate. And then, Dr. Burke, does the effect continue the next day and the day after that?
Usually, the best effect is 2 to 3 days after the treatment.
Oh,
It's
really?
always the best.
And why is that?
We don't know why it takes so long for the chi to fully balance, but anywhere from 12 to 28 to 48 hours. Although my elderly patients will call 4 days later and go, Dr. Burke, I'm the best today. It's like, okay, I'm glad.
You've got a great job. That's going to be so fulfilling because so many people, they've really given up and they don't know what else to do. They come to you and they just discover that not only do you give them the acupuncture, but you give them the love to help them love themselves. That's awesome.
And hope. Hope is a
and
huge thing.
Exactly. Well, thank you for coming on. Chris, thank you for coming on. We have to take a break. She's going to finish with Chris so you can feel better. Nice round of applause for both of them. Thank you.